All right, we're gonna go over crimping, the proper crimping tools and what you need to look for in a crimping tool when you decide what you're doing. All right, there's all these different types of crimping tools that I have in front of me here. Some are very specialty ones and some aren't. And when you're dealing with crimping tools, like you got to think, what if you have to change a pin out on this, which end would you prefer to use? Well, this one is actually a lot smaller than this one, so you can work with this end, but it's really difficult to start working with this end. So just be aware of the level of crimping that's required. So we'll start with some basic crimping thoughts. So here's the pieces that go into this tool here, the crimping tool. Okay, it's ratcheted. You have to push it all the way down in order to get it to open up. And in this crimping tool, you see that there's a thick and a thin side. So the thick side, this side here, is where the wire, the plastic part goes. So here you have your thing you want to crimp, and see the wire goes in, the stripped wire goes in there, this section here, and the plastic part goes in there. So you want the plastic part on the thick side. So you have to decide, so this is 0.5 millimeter, 1 millimeter, and 1.5 millimeter. So which one are you going to use? So when you're going to put it in this, you want to put it this direction. So this is how this goes, and you want it in, so the thicker wire goes there. All right, so when this crimps on, it'll crimp it fine. So I'll show you an example. So you're looking at the crimp and how it was installed. So have a look, I want 1 millimeter. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to stick it in right here. See that? So I get this in place so I don't have to hold it. And at this point I can put the wire in. So this is a thin wire. So I'm going to stick it in so that the plastic just goes on the inside, not too far. And you can see it's a little bit long for what it should be, so when you put it through, you don't want it interfering with the connector. See, I put it, it's kind of sticking out the end, so because it's too long. So in this scenario, I'm just gonna shorten that, make it a little shorter, put it in just like that, so the wire doesn't go too far, plastic's imperfect, and do the whole crimp. And this wire's a little thin for this connector, but that's what it looks like. If it's not snug or it's not connecting, you can take it to the next one. So maybe 1 millimeter was too small, and that's actually a really tight crimp that's going on there. So you need almost 3 hands to do this sometimes. Next is the red. So we have these type of connectors. So to do some examples. So this one, red goes with red. So this red and red, you can see which one's higher and lower. So the higher one goes where the plastic goes, and the shorter one goes where the wire's getting crimped. So when this goes in like that, get it to that level, get the wire, prep your wire. So in this case it's too long, way too long. So I'm just gonna, nice length. I'm gonna take this, stick it in. Don't want it to go too far, but it's just slightly poking through. And then you want to give it a tug. This wire's also too thin for this, but that's what you're looking for. Alright, there's some other tools. So this is a super fine tool. This type of, if you're trying to crimp a wire onto this tiny connector, you're gonna have a hard time unless you have the right tool. So in this case, the thing's so small I can't even hold on to it. This is a special crimping tool, so we got to make sure it's the right direction. Goes in a little hole. Make sure it's in place. See that? So when these two ends go into here, they crimp around and crimp into the wire. So I'm just going to give it a couple clicks. Better to prep the wire ahead of time. So nice and short. This is a really small connector, so I don't want to go too big. So just set it in. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect crimp. So if I tried doing this with any other tool, like this, even this tool is a similar one, but it's not made for this particular crimp. It's not going to have the same effect as this one did. It came in absolutely perfect. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. If you're desperate and you need to crimp these type of connectors, you can use these. You put it into something like this. When you crimp it, you want it to push it in so that it holds the wire tight. So you really have to really push down on it. And then when you're done, you'd want to give your wire a tug. If it comes off, it's not good enough. You can do it again. These things are cheap, so if it doesn't work, grab another one, do it again. That's pretty much it. So here's there's a bunch of different bits you can get for these type of connectors. They do these are your generic ones. These are your specific ones. When the connector's all done, you have to fit it in a plastic plug. You can use a pair of pliers. You want to advise against trying to use side cutters. So if you're trying to play around with this after the fact with the side cutters, you end up cutting the wire. So you can try to find some other tool to, maybe if one of the piece of metal is sticking out and it won't fit in the plastic that you're trying to get it into, you can just shape it until it gets right. Big thing is you gotta be able to pull it so that it doesn't come off. It can't come off when you're pulling it. All right, there you go. Thanks.